Virtual Media Day 2016 for MIAA Women's Soccer, joined by UCM coach Louis Theobald. Coach, I was at your day one practice, and one thing I keep telling people, and I just was kind of fascinated to watch, you were out there coaching day one, minute one. You know, you were talking about formations and things. Is that just how soccer goes, would you say, or were you wanting to start right away with this is how this season's going to be?
You know, I don't really know how other people do it, probably for their college programs. Probably everyone does it a little bit different. For us, you know, we like to get a picture in early, big picture, and then come back to the details. So, you know, we put a little bit in, but there's still a long way to go. You know, but the first day we got them playing right away, and we did stuff big picture just to kind of get a look at them.
You do have a lot of returners, though, so did that kind of make it easier where you didn't really feel like you needed to go through, this is how I run my program necessarily?
You know, you never want to take that for granted. I think that, you know, we make changes every year to try to improve. So, you know, we had some meetings the day before that went through kind of some of those changes. But in terms of style of play and systems and things like that, we feel pretty confident with what we've been doing the last couple of years.
And in terms of those returners, a lot of fans are going to recognize a lot of the names. Pretty much, you know, your whole starting lineup other than Julie is back. So what did you want from them day one in terms of how they want this season to go, knowing how many of them have been through this before?
You know, I just wanted them to, you know, it's like a fresh start. Even though that we've had some success, you want them to still be really hungry, and there's always another level. And obviously, we've kind of hit the same spot the last 2 years, so it's about how do we get through that point, and what do we have to do to be a better team at the end, but also not take for granted that success just happens, that they're going to have to work for it. So it's trying to find the right balance, but there's a little more maturity, I think, within the group now because they've got some experience. We've been pretty young the last couple of years, but I feel like we've got some real maturity on the field, and that's a different feel for us.
So who are some of those returners you want to make an impact on the team?
You know, you start with our senior class, Hannah Pyle,
1 minute remaining,
Abby Rhodes, and Maddie in goal, but on the field right away, the three field player seniors, you know, Hannah Pyle's, you know, played that position pretty much the whole time here. Abby's an impact player, and Emily's, you know, an All-American. So is Abby, but you know, they, you know, it's their last go, so I expect them to do really well.
And like you said, you have hit this pinnacle the last 2 years, but that pinnacle just happens to be the Elite Eight. You know, you've got the conference championships and things like that. So what have you been trying to work with them to get past that? That's our hump now. That's kind of where we're stuck. It's not a bad place to be stuck, but that's where we are. So what are we doing to get over that?
Yeah, stuck at the Elite Eight. That's
terrible.
I've not heard it phrased that way, but there's no guarantee we'll get back there. I think that's the first place to start, and that's so far off that, you know, it's somewhat irrelevant. I believe fully if we hit our level, if we hit our potential, then we'll have that opportunity. If things go our way, you know, you never know. But if we stay healthy, hit our level, get back to that spot, with the experience and that we've had the last couple of years, in that game we'll be better. But there's no guarantee, and that's not our focus right now. Our focus is we've made some changes in the way we do things to be a better team at the end of the season, to develop faster and quicker, and I hope that'll make us better quicker, but also better at the end of the year. So always evolving, always trying. But what we really need to do is have some players that maybe haven't given us a lot of minutes in the past really have a good season and push the other players, and some internal competition would be good.
In terms of conference competition, if you just kind of look at how the last couple years have gone, you know, we're always towards the top of regular season and tournament, but there's been different, you know, let's say we played in 4 tournament finals. We may have played 4 different other MIAA teams. So in the last couple years, how have you seen the conference as a whole grow?
Yeah, our conference is, you know, deep, and you know, with the other leagues in our region, so the Northern Sun and the GAC, we have the strongest strength of schedule top to bottom. So that's a good thing to know, that we're in the strongest, in our opinion, the strongest league in the region. Now there's some other really good teams in other leagues, but our league top to bottom is the most difficult, and so. And that's why you probably see different teams rising to the top all the time in our league. So, you know, you lose a couple players here and there, and you're very vulnerable to everybody else. So, you know, there'll be good. There's good teams, and you know, Northeastern was very, very good last year, but Central Oklahoma jumped them at the end to finish second, and they're always really good. And Hayes, you know, they they beat us out there, and then went to overtime and squeaked one out at the end. So there's a lot of good teams, and SPU's been good in the past and made a coaching change and getting used to that new system. I'm sure they'll be really good again and down the line. So everybody's working hard. I mean, we got some really good coaches in this league, and they're working really, really hard and bringing in good kids. We're all out recruiting. We see who's going where, and it's not going to be easy.
But in the end, how much does it help your girls to know they've known for several years now what it takes to be on top of the conference at the end?
That's a good question. I just don't know if, experience is great, and that expectation is great. There's pressure that comes with that. But to be really honest, we're really focused on this year. So I'm not, and they're not, I don't think, thinking about last year and the other year. So it's, we've started training, and we're just really focused on the game we have coming up in preseason. We're not really thinking about the conference schedule or conference championships or the conference tournament, and there's none of that going on. So now I do think there's something to be said for experience and expectation, but it hasn't come up this week. We haven't talked about it. Didn't talk about it in any of our preseason meetings. But I really want the young players to learn what it takes to win from our older players, and if that's happening, then I'm happy. But if we'll be really lucky if we get the chance to win another championship. I know we'll be really lucky.